gentlemen, and fellow designers. Today, I would like to begin with a simple moment many of you might relate to. So recently, I was walking through a mall when a skincare ad caught my particular eye. The model was flawless, stunning. She had silky skin, perfect features, everything you'd expect from a luxury brand. At first, I thought, oh man, their budget must be really high to afford such an amazing model. But after a closer look, I realized she wasn't a model at all. In fact, the entire ad was AI generated. And immediately, my impression flipped. I thought, oh man, how good is this product really if they couldn't even get any model to sign up for it? That moment made me realize how easily our perceptions can be shaped, even manipulated by the second. Friends, in an age where technology moves faster than our ability to question it, we must confront a crucial truth. Designers have a moral duty to combat visual misinformation. As deepfakes, AI-generated imagery, and deceptive layouts spread across the digital world, this responsibility becomes not just important, but crucial. To understand this responsibility, we must first recognize what visual communication design truly is. Visual communication design is not simply aesthetics, it is the discipline of shaping meaning through images, symbols, typography, and layout. Everything we design, from simple posters to sample social media posts, affects how people interpret information, judge credibility, and form beliefs. Now, according to UNESCO's 2025 report on visual literacy, visual creators now stand as central agents in determining the integrity of in digital communication. We influence how data is read, how images are trusted, and how narratives spread. Our role is not passive. We, as designers, actively shape how history will view us. And when we hold that kind of influence, ethical responsibility becomes inseparable from the work itself. This becomes even clearer when we examine how visual design has been used in history for harm. One of the clearest examples is Nazi propaganda, a chilling textbook case of visual communication used deliberately to manipulate a whole nation and more. Their posters relied on bold red, white, and black palettes to evoke power and urgency. Their imagery simplified complex ideas into emotionally charged symbols. Photographs were staged to glorify the regime and dehumanize targeted groups. None of this was accidental. These decisions were made by skilled designers applying professional expertise towards a destructive goal, and they were devastatingly effective. But this history is not a distant lesson. It is repeating itself as we speak. Around the world, extremist communities are adopting these same visual tactics, now only amplified by modern technology. The European Digital Media Observatory reported in 2024 that extremist groups are using polished infographics and AI-generated images to mimic scientific credibility and spread bigotry. We saw this recently during the New York mayoral race. While one party, Zoran Mundani, ran a human-centered campaign, opposing parties such as Andrew Cuomo circulated AI-generated campaigns to create false narratives and mockery of Mamdani, to the point of making AI-generated Mamdani say hearsay as an attempt to induce public outrage. And while today some visuals are still detectable, many are becoming not. As many as Hani Farid explains in Fake Photos and Deepfakes in a 2023 article, manipulated images today can fool even the most experts. If propaganda in the 1940s could mobilize nations towards violence, imagine what propaganda powered by AI, algorithms, and instant virality can do today. The conclusion is undeniable. Design shapes truth, and when misused, it shapes harm. Neutrality is no longer an option for us designers. Yet, some critics argue otherwise. They claim that truth-checking is not the designer's job, that we are existing simply to execute a client's request. But this argument ignores reality. Designers give information its visual form, and that form is what determines persuasion. When we choose a color palette, adjust a graph, or crop an image, we influence the message long before a viewer reads the text. To pretend that we hold no responsibility is to ignore the actual power of our craft. And the world is also no longer willing to accept that excuse either. Ethical frameworks emerging today make this very clear. The Design Council UK's 2024 guidelines state that designers must anticipate harm and safeguard the public. UNESCO affirms that creators share equal responsibility with the audience in upholding truth online. Even the AIGA standards of professional practice insist that designers must not knowingly mislead or distort. These standards remind us that our work is not just creative, it is civic. Our choices directly affect society. So where does this leave us? In a digital world where AI-generated deepfakes, fabricated infographics, and hyperreal manipulations spread faster than fact-checkers can even respond, designers have a crucial role. We can say no. We shape what people believe about elections, public health, cultural identity, and global events. We cannot claim neutrality while holding that level of influence, and we cannot ignore the lessons of history or the new dangers emerging in our present world. In summary, visual communication design is fundamentally tied in shaping meaning and public understanding in our society. History shows us that design can be weaponized to cause profound harm, and modern technology has only amplified that power. While some argue that accuracy is not our job, the ethical frameworks of 2025, supported by UNESCO, the Design Council UK, AIGA, and scholars like Fadid, and society like shaped by us, clearly state otherwise. So, I leave you with this call to action. Let us design with integrity. Let us be transparent when images are altered. And let us refuse commissions that intentionally distort the truth in our world. In an internet that seems to be dead nowadays, let us be the ones who preserve the human touch and our soul ethics, who defend clarity, honesty, and trust. Thank you.